Imagine waking up every day knowing that your leadership style is rooted in faith, sharpened by laser focus, and fueled by the freedom to make decisions without financial fear. What could you accomplish? Who could you impact? Hi, my name is Eric Hamilton, and I am the author of The Sales Blueprint: What Winners Do Differently. I am the president of Hamilton Sales Academy and a real estate investor, a sales leader, a financial literacy educator. I've spent over 25 years building high-performing sales teams for corporate America, closing major deals, and helping people turn their vision into results. So today, in just 15 minutes, I'm just going to give you a blueprint. I'm going to give you a blueprint to lead with confidence, clarity, and purpose so that you can not just build success, but build legacy. Now, so there's three F's that we're going to talk about today. There's faith, focus, and financial freedom. Now, that technically sounds like four F's, but financial freedom, let's call that one F. So let's break down each one, and that's where we're going to spend our time. And I'm going to challenge you to take action after each one. So let's start with the first one, which is faith. Faith as the foundation. Now think of faith as the anchor of leadership. So without it, success can feel empty and leadership can lose its moral compass. How many times have you made a decision that may not fit your vision or your moral compass? However, the money made sense. Yeah, I think we're all guilty at some point. But when faith drives your leadership, three things are going to happen. Number one, your decisions align with your values. So you can stop chasing everything and start pursuing the things that matter. And so many times we get distracted trying to figure out what actually matters, and we just are all over the place. The second thing that faith-driven leadership is going to do is you'll lead with service, not by status. So service over status. So many times corporate America puts put profit over people. And what we want to do is make sure we're not putting profit over people. We're focused in, we serve others. We're in a service industry. Whatever industry you're in leadership, your job is to serve. Jesus gave the best example of how to serve. Reference the Bible if you want to, more details on that. Thirdly, is by having faith as your foundational in leadership, you can stay grounded during storms. Now, storms are going to come. Challenges are going to happen, but we have to think of challenges as opportunities to strengthen our resolve. We use challenges as an opportunity to learn from, to grow from, right? To become better at your craft. Now, let me give you a personal example that kind of have all these three rooted together. So years ago, I faced a major business decision. There was an investment opportunity that came my way that I was very interested in. It was extremely lucrative. It could have brought big revenue associated with it. However, it didn't fit my moral compass. I didn't want to be, if it got out to the community that I was a part of this or backing this, I wouldn't feel good about it. So it didn't align with my vision and what I wanted to accomplish. I sat down, my wife and I, we prayed about it. We studied, prayed about it consistently. And ultimately I decided to walk away from the opportunity. And at the time, I thought it was a big loss. I thought it was a mistake. I was going back and forth like, man, why did I really do this? And et cetera. But I made the decision to walk away and I moved forward. Now, fast forward a few months later, there's another opportunity that was brought toward my way. Now, unlike the other one, this one aligned perfectly with my vision and my integrity. And that's what faith does. It rewards patience and principle. Does that make sense? Now, this week, I'm going to challenge you to do something. First, let's start with your leadership whys. I challenge you to write your leadership why in one sentence and make it like the filter for every decision that you make with your business. So that's the first F, which is faith, and you have your action item coming out of that. Let's move to the second one. The second F is focus. Focus as the driver. Now, think about this. If faith gives you your why, the focus gives you your how. Now, the most effective leaders I've ever met, they've mastered the art of focus. Here's what they are able to do. Three top things that they're doing to master the art of focus. Number one, they get crystal clear on their top three priorities and they put forth the effort along with that. If we don't understand what our top priorities are each and every day, what are the things that we have to get done? And then everything else just slides in. The ones that master the focus do this really, really well. They stay laser focused on the top priorities of the day, of the week, of the year, etc. Number two, they eliminate distractions that don't serve the mission. How often have you been sitting on your phone and you might jump on TikTok to look at something and 20 minutes later you're still on TikTok and you're still scrolling, or Facebook or Instagram, whatever you want to call it. And you're not studying to get better, you're actually looking at information, right? And so you find yourself doom scrolling, I think they call it. The people that master focus are able to eliminate distractions that don't align and don't serve the mission. Lastly, they show up consistently, even when it's inconvenient. My book is rooted in this fundamental principle. There are things that need to get done in your day, and it doesn't matter how you feel. They just need to be done. If you are a business owner, your job is to execute on that vision. I'll give you an example from my personal experience. When I started my real estate portfolio, I was in college, and I purchased my duplex, the first duplex in 2001. And the reason I purchased it is my mother said that, son, you need a tax shelter. After trying to understand what a tax shelter was, I purchased a piece of property, and it was a duplex. So I had a tenant in one and I lived in the other side, and I would fix up the other side. And when that's done, I moved on and got a second duplex. And I love the concept. The challenge is I had opportunities everywhere. So I started moving from duplexes into single family to commercial, all over the place. It wasn't until I focused on one lane, which is multifamily properties. That's when my results skyrocketed because I wasn't going back and forth. And now I have a principle on this is what I'm looking for that fits in my portfolio, and I will not um, go away from it. I got a principle on here's how I calculate if a property makes sense for me to acquire. The other thing that happened is my wife took more creative control or the day-to-day leadership on the property. So that might be the real secret reason that it skyrocketed. But hopefully that example makes sense. So here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to write down your top three priorities right now. And after you finish that, I want you to write one thing that you will stop doing that's stealing your time and energy so that we can stay focused on the vision, on the mission. So we talked about faith, moved on to focus. Let's finish with financial freedom. Think of financial freedom as the legacy. So if faith is the root, focus is the engine, financial freedom is the fuel that keeps you moving without compromise. Financial freedom isn't just about having money, it's about having options. Now, I teach a lot about financial literacy. It's something I'm passionate about. But here's a basic formula in 3 steps that I'll teach you, that I teach in my series. Number 1, master the basics. If you can't master the basics, it's going to be very challenging for you to be financially free. How to budget, avoiding bad debt, living within or outside of your means. If you're doing these things, you will not have financial freedom. We have to understand the basics first. We have to know how to budget. Even if you make, I don't care, $1 million a year, if I'm spending 960,000 of the million every year, I'm still living check to check because I'm overspending. The second piece is leveraging your resources. Invest in assets that will grow, not liabilities that will drain you. Think about what I mean. Pay yourself first. Invest in real estate. Invest in the stock market. Invest in cryptocurrency. Just be careful, obviously, and the right type of cryptocurrency. And avoid things like high-end expensive cars with expensive notes. Avoid things like again, just like there's multiple things that are liabilities that will drain you. It's spending on just frivolously, so all the designer clothes and all this other stuff. Instead of buying another Apple Watch and an Apple phone and everything else, or maybe it's when you do purchase that, you also buy one share of Apple. I'm going to buy an Apple phone. I need to go buy an Apple share at the same time. It's actually cheaper than the phone. Third is I teach to think generationally. So try to build something that your children and their children can benefit from. So what I've done, I'll give you two examples. What I've done is with my youngest, right around 9 or 10 years old, I opened up custodial accounts and I began to send money or invest money on a consistent basis every Friday into his account. And I would purchase blue chip corporations, right? So some of the best of the best. Over the course of 5 years, his portfolio has grown exponentially because compound interest has kicked in. I'll come back to that. Here's a quick example. If you take $50 a week and you take that $50 and over 20 years, you consistently invest and put it in the market for 20 years. If you earn a average return on investment of 11%, that $50 a week turns into $200,000 approximately. If you took that same $50 a week over a 20-year time period and you put it under your mattress because you feel comfortable, that's $52,000. You see the difference? We're talking $150,000 difference. You want to talk about where the wealth gap begins to grow and where it's gone? Compound interest. The people that understand compound interest, they understand finances, they understand money, they typically get the money. All right, so here's my challenge to you on this one. I challenge you to take one financial action. It could be opening up an investment account. It could set up your auto savings, pay down a high interest debt. Small steps build big futures. So third F, financial freedom. Now, if I were to summarize and keep it simple, here's your blueprint in one sentence. Faith as your foundation, focus as your driver, and financial freedom as your legacy. So this week, you've got 3 things that I'm challenging you to do. Number 1, define your leadership why. 2, commit to your top 3 priorities and remove one distraction. And third is take one step toward financial freedom. If you're ready to go deeper, connect with me at thesalesblueprintforsuccess.com. On my website, you can have access to my book. You've got financial literacy that I offer, information about me, some key things that we're doing, some testimonials. And I'm also offering for anyone that uses the hashtag that we're using for this event, for anyone that uses that, you will get one free 30-minute consultation with me. So I'm offering that for our members that are present here. You can also follow me on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all the social media mediums. Now, lastly, my book, The Sales Blueprint, What Winners Do Differently, it's filled with different strategies to help you grow, not just in business, but in life. I fully believe that it's possible to be a world-class father, world-class mother, business leader, all that in one. I feel like we can do that, but we have to be intentional. So remember, when your leadership is grounded in faith, sharpened by focus, and sustained by financial wisdom, you won't just change your life, you will change the lives of everyone you lead. So with that, thank you for listening. Thank you for the opportunity, and I'll see you at the top.